morning, and thank you all for joining us. I'm State Representative Elinor Levin. I represent House District 89. I'm joined by many of my colleagues, some of whom you'll be hearing from today, including Representative Baeth, Representative Kenan Judge, and Representative Mary Madison, as well as our other House Democratic colleagues. We're here today to talk about the fact that Iowans across the state, as we knock doors, as we attend events, as we go to town halls, are talking to us about their water quality. This is something that many of us have been wanting to bring to the top of the agenda for a long time, and we decided the time is right to come together and say, here's what we need to be doing. Here's how we need to start. We're not talking about the end goal here. We're talking about beginning a conversation that recognizes the reality of Iowa's water quality problems now and starts working towards better water for all Iowans. I'm going to hand it over to Representative Baeth to get us started.
Thank you, Elinor. In my day job, my chosen profession, I'm an internal medicine physician. And it has been a growing concern among my physician colleagues that water pollution in the state of Iowa is killing people. We know that Iowans drink some of the highest water nitrate concentrations in the country. We know that nitrate is linked to multiple cancers, including cancers of the stomach, colon, esophagus, bladder, ovaries, thyroid, and pancreas. And we know that Iowa has the fastest rising cancer rate in the nation, the second highest overall right now. Now, we don't suggest that water pollution is the sole cause of Iowa's cancer crisis, but it must be contributing. We should not have to worry about whether one of our most precious natural resources, something that is essential, a basic necessity of life, is actually shortening our lives. I will tell you that I am tired of diagnosing my patients with cancer, and I am tired of worrying whether I am harming my children every time I fill their cup from the tap. For reasons so many we can go over, that is the main reason we are doing this today, is to protect every single Iowan in this state, and the time for action is right now. Now to Kenan Judge for the plan.
Thank you everybody for taking the time to attend, and thank you Dr. Baeth for your remarks. I think we need to start by the realization that agriculture plays a vital role in our economy and also in the livelihoods of thousands of Iowans that work around agriculture. Our approach is one that House Democrats came together and said we want to be a partner with agriculture. Family farmers today are feeling significant pressure of $4 corn and trying to make ends meet. So this is the time with our bold plan to come out and partner and be a part of the solution. In visiting with constituents as I do, this comes up as a top 3 reasons, 3 things that people talk to me about at the doors. And it's important to them. This isn't a Republican issue. This isn't a Democratic issue. This is all of our issue. This is what we need to work on together. Our job is to unite and not divide. Today we're going to outline 5 key priorities to address healthy water in the state of Iowa. First of all, we need to restore funding at $600,000 to water monitoring. This is crucial. If we're going to lead in this state, if we're leaders, we need to come out and we should oversee water quality. It shouldn't be a mixed match of testing out there. If we cannot measure it, we cannot manage it. This is imperative we get this done. We also need to triple the funding that the state provides the nutrient reduction strategy. We know what works. We know what the science is. We have that data. And I will talk to you, if we don't pay the money now, if we don't spend the money now, we're gonna pay it later in higher water costs. So it's crucial we get started today. In the nutrient reduction strategy, we need to put more money in wetlands, buffer strips, bioreactors, and cover crops. The state spends about $10 million a year now in that. We want to triple it to 30 million. Point number 3, we want to create a clean water tax credit that incentivizes farmers for these key management practices. Number 4, we want to create a clean water certification program that we can certify these acres and give a tax credit to farmers that do these practices. And then the 5th item is create a clean water loan program at 0% for farmers that want to invest in equipment that's going to be coming down the road that helps us with how many nutrients we put in the soil. If you stop and think today, John Deere has technology that they can go out and spray one weed, and kill it. That technology is going to come, it's going to be here, and we have to incentivize farmers to get this going. So we're proud that we came together and had a lot of serious conversations. The need for us to partner and be part of the solution, having good, clean water. That Representative Mary Madison will bring us up to close.
In closing, today we talked about something simple yet profound, healthy water. We are proud of this plan and confident that it will make a real positive difference in our state. This is a proposal that meets the moment Iowa is facing. This is a golden opportunity for each one of us to contribute in a positive way. When we invest in cleaning up our water, we invest in healthier lives, not just for ourselves, but for that of our children and our children's children. We reduce health risk, we support farmers with proven solutions, and we protect our rivers and lakes for the next generation. This plan shows that we can protect public health and work in partnership with everyone involved in finding a way. With that, we'll take questions.
It sounds like this plan would sort of continue the voluntary system, obviously with some more funding and things like that right now. Why not propose, some water scientists and things are calling for mandatory requirements for farmers in this area?
We don't think it's time now, when farmers are facing significant pressure in the economics, to do that. The best way to get somebody to cooperate and be in is to give them incentives and make sure that farmers want clean water. They want the same things we do. We're all islands. But I think we need to put the money there to incentivize them and get to help them afford to do it in these economic times.
I would just add that we've seen data that there are a lot of folks, landowners, who would like to be implementing practices, and those funds run out. And so if there's an opportunity to be ensuring that folks who are willing to put in the time and put in the practices, that the funds are there for them, for those who are willing to step up.
When you say data, what do you mean?
There have been, I'm gonna have to look for details on that, but there are waiting lists essentially for some of the implementation programs. I'll find it for you.
Thank you.
And I'd like to add that, folks have listed dozens of things we could or should be doing to improve water quality in Iowa. I want to point out that right now, essentially, nothing is being done. What's really important today that you all see is that the Iowa Democrats are the ones proposing a bold and comprehensive plan to improve water quality in this state, but this does not need to be the Iowa Democrats' plan. We want this to be the entire state's plan. We want to join with Republicans. We want to join with agricultural groups and environmental groups. This is our starting point to try to have everybody meet in the middle in a bold and unified response. Because right now the status quo has been folks putting their head in the sand and ignoring the problem. So yes, there's more that could be done, I'm sure. This specific set of priorities is in place to get everybody at the table working together to fix this problem. That's what Iowans want.
In his availability earlier today, Leader Myers was frustrated about the unfunded mandates from the majority party. This would be obviously, what conversation has the caucus had about how we would go about funding this additional infrastructure?
In the big scheme of things, this is a small amount of money. You know, when you look about the economic viability of this state down the road, we're going to need to have clean water and we're going to need to have lower cancer rates. This is not only playing economic offense, it's playing economic defense, because if we lose our workforce, our economy is going to be in even rougher shape. So it is in everyone's best interest here in the state of Iowa. It's in every single Iowan's interest that we drink healthy water. And so it makes sense that we all invest in fixing this problem together. We can all be part of the solution.
Yesterday,
And let me add to that. I think it's important to realize too that every budget has a priority. Every budget has a priority. We're saying this is one of our top priorities, to divide the budget up. This needs to be a part of the solution.
yesterday, quite a few House Democrats voted against the eminent domain bill, and Leader Meyer told us earlier this morning that the House Democratic position is that they want the pipeline to be built, but while also protecting private property rights. A lot of environmentalists have expressed concerns about the CO2 pipeline, in particular the water, the massive water usage that would be needed for ethanol plants and the carbon capture facilities. Can somebody speak to the House Democratic position on the pipeline as it relates to Iowa's water resources?
You know, I think Leader Meyer is absolutely right, that we can do both. We don't have to have eminent domain. We need to come together in the middle and come out with a plan to be able to build this pipeline and have the relief that farmers are gonna need with biofuels. As far as the amount of water that they're gonna use, I think that's something we're gonna have to talk about and have open conversations. And that's why we wanna get started on this plan right away, so we have the clean water to talk about. So we're more than happy to get into those conversations and be a part of it.
Yeah, I would say one of the challenges that Iowa faces with regards to that particular issue is that we don't have the full understanding of our water resources that so many other states have. Because we didn't have a formal oil and gas industry like so many other states have, we don't have aquifer mapping, we don't have a full understanding of our geologic water resources. And so it has been a topic of conversation amongst our caucus, how we ensure that moving forward, Iowa brings ourselves up to date so that we know what we're working with before we commit our water resources.
There's a couple of tax credit incentives in here. Just walk through the difference between the clean water tax credit and then the certification, and why you sort of chose those as the correct incentive program that you want.
Yeah, so there's two different tax incentives in this proposal. One is an income tax incentive, and the other one's a property tax incentive. And these are modeled off of other programs that have been successful in other states. So the income tax incentive has been used in Pennsylvania and Virginia. The property tax incentive has been used in the state of Minnesota. And in all three of those states, they have seen up to millions of acres actually now enrolled in some of these programs of producers who are using best management practices to reduce runoff into the waterway. And I'm happy to get into some of the specifics of this plan if you all are interested. Essentially with the Iowa Clean Water Tax Credit, this would be a state income tax credit that is refundable for up to 50% of out-of-pocket costs or out-of-pocket expenses to introduce some of these practices. Those practices would be outlined for that one. This is still in drafting, by the way. By the Division of Soil Conservation and Water Quality. The other one is the Clean Water Certification Program. This is the program that's modeled after Minnesota's program, in which the Department of Natural Resources outlines a set of criteria in order to certify that a farm is implementing best management practices to reduce their runoff, and then each qualified acre gets $5 per acre in a property tax credit. Important to that as well is that they have to have a 10-year agreement to maintain those practices in order to get that tax credit.
And do you have the cost of any of these, like an estimate?
We do not have an official estimate yet from the LSA, no.
You mentioned that you want this to be something that Republicans can come together on as well. How, what's the plan to move forward and kind of engage your Republican colleagues in these conversations?
We get these bills drafted and we roll them out. We're gonna welcome that input. And that's why we came out with a policy that is all-inclusive, that brings everybody together. We know that Iowans want healthy water. We know farmers want to take care of the land and take care of the water. Our approach in both parties over the past has been more finger pointing. We welcome that input from them, and to bring in, and if they have better ideas, we should incorporate some. This shouldn't be a all or nothing, and I think this gives us a chance to bring everybody to the table.
Any other questions? Going once? All good.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.